Hey, Gillet, we're the Missoula City Band. Will you please rise and sing along with Ron Wilcott? Here's our national anthem. We have a boatload full of birthdays for you today. Joe, let's see, Isaac Timmons, a member of one of the sons of our guest soloist tonight. Birthdays up, Joe Horseshoe. He turned 25. Wait, is he here? Oh, okay, yeah. Joel sometimes can be tardy. Evelyn Gisselbeck, Don's mom's birthday is on Saturday. Irvin Rance is 96, and Carol Williams is almost there. She's 90. Happy birthday, kid! Oh, blast from the past this evening. There'll be all kinds of things that come from before, many of them long before. In the research coming up to the writing of the history of the City Band book and last year's historical concert that we used to kick the book sales off with, I came up with tunes that I found in my research, many of which are not in our library anymore. Somehow we lost all the music in our library before 1940. And there's a lot of music and a lot of music history before then. So I've been able to dig these pieces out from different cracks and croonings all over the country. And right now is a 1901 Brooks Chicago Marine Band March. He was a contemporary of Sousa's, not quite as famous, but he had a great little band in Chicago. This was played at a concert in 1909 by Professor Witzman, and it was a time when the Eagles band was way strong. So the City Band would just put on Eagles jackets and call themselves the City Band. Or the Eagles Band. Here is Brooks Chicago Marine Band March. the march writer. That was Roland Sykes. His most famous march was, I have it written down. That was his second most famous march. Not quite the march composer that Sousa was. We'll be getting to some of his music this evening as well. Long before our time here, I got this music from the Boston, Montana band. Sam Trelaw was the director over in Butte, America. And he played his old war horse. You will love it. Our woodwind section just is horrified by it. They play so freaking many notes. Enjoy the Overture Tancred by Giacomo Rossini. Oh, boy, the people love their operas. There's no doubt about it. That was just the overture, okay? That was just to get things started. And Rossini messed with you thinking, wow, is that really it right there? No, hell yeah, another 5 minutes to go. And then, the opera probably took 3 hours after that. John Philip Sousa, oh, hey, our wonderful volunteers are now spreading out amongst you as you squiggle in your chair and you dig for your wallet or maybe your bag. Maybe you brought your handbag or maybe you keep it on a money belt, Wherever it is, dig down deep enough to thank you and the city for your generous support. Hey, and right now, Ron Wilcott's joining us on stage. And even though this is Sousa, it is not a march. He wrote this as an operetta, not like the opera that we just heard right there, but an operetta. He was enthralled with the music of Gilbert and Sullivan over in England, and he mimicked it and wanted in on some of the action. They didn't get much play anymore, but at the time they were quite popular, and it's all full of lyrics, and it's ridiculous. It's opera buffo, and it's about we were just about ready to enter with the Spaniards into the Spanish-American War. And before we did that, we made up stories about the Spaniards because we didn't like them, because they were doing bad things. That's why we ended up going to war with them. This little operetta is about an incident in Peru, because we didn't want to talk about Americans in the Spanish fighting yet, because it hadn't quite happened. So the words are ridiculous. Ron brings it to life. Here is El Capitan. And it's also a little teaser. Remember this fall, the community band's going to do an entire Sousa Centennial celebration. That may well be on the program. I know we played it here 100 years ago. And we'll see how the program goes along. The fellow who edited that march, the scholar who edited it, will be our guest conductor. So it's all very exciting. And we're going to follow that up with a real march. Here is Armistice Day, written on Armistice Day 1922, and we'll educate the children about what Armistice Day was. It's now called Veterans Day, but Armistice Day was the laying down of the guns at the 11th hour, the 11th minute, of the 11th month of the 11th year. 1911, that's right. And here's the march by J.E. Wells to commemorate that event.
And he's going to poke my face, and he's in my spot. Hurry back here.
You can tell in 20 years a significant creeping up of arranging skills going on there. It's a much more complex march than the Chicago Marine Band March. And Pete Lawrence's grandfather, when he was director of this band, played that here in 1928. Pretty cool, not quite as old. This was written just before the right around the time of World War II by the Russian composer Kabalevsky. The Blast of the Past is this young buck standing beside me who graduated from Sentinel when I was still teaching there. And he no longer lives here, but he continues to come back and visit parents and in-laws. And I said last year, well, are you still playing? He went, well, no, I'm raising a family. I don't even have an instrument. So he went on eBay, bought an instrument, and said, I'm going to play a solo with the city band this year. So the relatives are, hey, those are always relatives right there, okay? And welcome to the bandstand. We'll get the mic all rigged up. Welcome to the bandstand, Neil Timmons on xylophone. Neil. Kabalevsky wrote it. It's called Comedian's Death. I gave him my famous admonition just before he played. Don't suck. Get going, Neil. Maybe he'll lead him back to music again. As a child, I remember him saying, "Music is my life." Well, you know, then you get married and you have kids and you got a mortgage and all that stuff, and sometimes it gets in the way. I'm thinking that maybe he'll come back to the boy. He doesn't suck indeed. Hey, back in 1914. This was played on the program on September 19th. The weather must have been good that year. This is by an Irish composer, and for all of you that love waltzes, enjoy this. People even older than me. That's right, kids. Look out there. There are people older than me out there, and they long for waltzes. This is called Nights of Gladness. could tell the ones that were smiling. I looked more and more like Andre Roux. If you don't get that joke, that's okay. You just don't watch enough public TV. Thank you, horn players, for keeping us going on that. There's enough waltz to last you for a couple weeks, kids. This composition was played on our concert, the first concert of the year in 1910. You know, it's amazing to go that far back, 110 years back, and know this is the same tunes. Now, this venue wasn't here. These concerts were going down, for the most part, on the courthouse steps, and then for a little bit there was a little bandstand, and then that phony bandstand they put up down there. But there was a real bandstand and a wooden bandstand. We didn't move out here to Bonner Park until almost the 70s with an old wood structure. But these same tunes are being played, and from the book, if you've been doing your reading, kids, again, lucky thing I've got some for sale right down here. Thank you for bringing that up, Ross. Our director Alan had but one season. This was the first tune on his only season of conducting a city band. You'll have to read the book to find out what happened to that sucker. Here is a serenade called "The Garden of Dreams." I've been practicing Hillary's name all day long. It's her third year in the band. I think I finally said it right. Almost as old. This gentleman was alive during that time when that piece was played here in Monterey Park. We hadn't heard of him yet, but boy, we sure did by the time he passed in 1971. We've all been touched by his music. We've got a quintet of folks that will split aside from the band, and suddenly you'll hear a Dixieland quintet playing along. Here's a tribute to the music of and the man, Satchmo, Louis Armstrong. enough to play, yet standing up. I see that Dean did it, though. Dean probably the oldest one to... Oh. Hey, speaking of Dixie, here's a collection of Southern melodies that came up from down south along with the music from New Orleans. Wednesday we'll be back next week, and our guest soloists will be Jesse and Caitlin. Thanks, Neil Timmons, for being here. Ron on your vocals. See you next week, kids. Thanks so much.